entertainment, 100% electricity, 100%
Pipebomb Radio with your host, Felix Olmedo.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man,
Austin James.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
And Nate Milton.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Welcome, everybody, to this chilly Tuesday evening for Pipebomb Radio. I'm your host, Felix, alongside Austin, and I'm pretty sure Nate will be joining us here momentarily. How's it going, Austin? You enjoying your week so far? How's the weather out in New Orleans?
Absolutely. The weather is amazing, you know, and it's kind of weird because November 1st, the morning of November 1st, I walk outside the door with new exuberance within me, and I'm like, 'tis the season to be jolly. November, it's cold outside.
Yeah, I've always been more of a winter person myself, so I welcome the winter time as always. And as far as tonight's show goes, we have a guest who's returning to the show after almost a year. I mean, next month it would have been a year. And so many changes, so many new things that are happening for this guy and his company. And who am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Luke Hawx. He is a good friend of the show. Well, actually, he's just a good person. Let's just put it that way. But he has a lot on his plate. He does so many different things, not to mention just wrestling. He does a lot of other things, too. But I'm going to let Austin tell us a little bit more about Luke Hawx, as he knows Luke a little bit better than I do.
You know, Luke Hawx is, like I said 2 weeks ago, Luke Hawx is a man who carries no sugar in his pocket, without a doubt. He tells you like it is, and I think you need that with a trainer. Like, he's the head trainer, the guy who created it all, Wildkat Professional Wrestling in New Orleans, Louisiana, training some of the best professional wrestlers in the world today, without a doubt. And this Saturday night, Revolution Rumble, November 8, 2014, I believe it's 7 p.m. bell time, doors open at 6 p.m., Meisner Middle High School. Let me tell you, Luke Hawx is going to be there. Booker T, former guest on Pipebomb Radio, Hardcore Holly, Purple Haze, member Danny Flamingo, he's also going to be there. I mean, so many different matches are happening this Saturday night. If you're missing out on this, you're missing out on one hell of a show.
Absolutely, and now welcome, of course, our third co-host, however you want to call him. Nate, how you doing, man?
I am doing good, my brothers, and I am excited to be on Pipebomb Radio tonight talking with Luke Hawx.
All righty, and I believe the man is actually calling in. Let's just go ahead and bring him on and find out. Hello, is this Luke?
Yo, what's happening?
Not too much, man. We thank you for coming back. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excuse me. Got a little cough. So
not a problem, man. Not a problem.
Back on.
It's a pleasure, definitely working with you guys and your Wildkat guys. I definitely would call you. I don't know how you would take this if I said it, but I could call you Vince McMahon of the New Orleans area wrestling area.
I'm far from that, man. I'm just a guy trying to build a team. That's how we got a good thing going down here. Plus, I had the guys
Absolutely.
I got, and now the girls. So, Austin, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing phenomenal. How about you?
I'm all right. I heard you just give us a good plug for the show. We're going to be at Meisner Middle High School, huh? That's a
definitely
first.
Revolution Rumble Saturday night.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, you're definitely a man who carries no sugar in his pocket, without a doubt. Because, like I always saying with trainers, you got so many different trainers in the world today. But then there's very few. Actually, I think Wildkat's the only professional wrestling training school in the state of Louisiana.
We're actually we're the only professional wrestling training center in the South. Well, the Gulf South. I mean, you got Booker T's in Houston, which is like the outside of the South. It's kind of still southern, but on that edge. And then you have the Florida schools, which are all pretty much east, because it's South, but it's East Coast. You know what I'm saying? So in between there and between Houston and Jacksonville area, there's nothing. There's us. So and it's not middle high school. I'm giving you a hard time about that. It's just Meisner Middle School.
It's Meisner Middle School.
Middle School. That's it. It's in their gymnasium. They got a really nice gymnasium. It's perfect for us. That's why we run shows there. It's great, and we do a lot of things. We raise money for the school as well while we're there. So we try and donate to their sports programs to get those kids the stuff they need, the uniforms and things. So it's a good thing.
And as clean as the school might be, you have a match with Hardcore Holly this Saturday night, and you're probably going to tear it up just a little bit.
I might tear his ass up a little bit. That's what I'm going to do.
So I actually wanted to ask you, because I actually seen on a video, and I could be wrong if I say this incorrectly, just let me know. I seen somewhere you talked about the opportunity that you were possibly going to be the boogeyman at one point. Are you able to talk about that?
No,
Do you remember that story?
I wasn't going to be the boogeyman. He was running late, and he needed somebody to walk through his entrance and everything for a little thing on a TV segment. So they just put me in the spot to play that gimmick for walkthroughs. So no, there was never any, I was going to be the boogeyman, this or any of that. No, nothing. I just happened to take this spot for a minute to do some walkthroughs for TV. So, that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
about that, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Go ahead, Austin.
No, I was going to say, speaking of, TV, you actually been on a couple, over the past year especially, different TV series and a couple of movies, I believe. Can you tell us a bit what's been going on since you last been on the show last year?
Yeah, I've been on more than a couple. I've been on more than any other pro wrestling that, there is. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not in these lead roles or anything, and I'm not, I wasn't Hulk Hogan when I was in 100 episodes of Thunder in Paradise or whatever it was. But as far as, different shows and movies, I've been in over 50. From G.I. Joe, Green Lantern. I just finished up a couple episodes of NCIS New Orleans, doing some stunts on that.
Nice.
Just worked on a new Halle Berry movie called Kidnapped, doing some stunt driving. There's so many things. It's just a lot of things going on right now. I got a couple of things in the works that I'm about to start down here. A couple other films that I can't talk about yet, and I don't ever talk about them until I do them anyway, because it's like anything in entertainment. Everything's nothing until it's something. So until I actually work on something, yeah, exactly. It's like, why tell somebody you're going to WWE if you're not there yet? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
absolutely.
So yeah, no, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be in both worlds,
Absolutely, brother. And I got some questions about your past, but you kind of piqued my interest with that Green Lantern line you threw out there right quick. Were you a fan of the character or a fan of comic books in general before you were booked into that?
Yeah. I wasn't just. I've always liked comics. I've always liked, what kid doesn't? You know what I'm saying? The cartoons I watched, Spider-Man. I watched all those X-Men cartoons, and I used to go to the comic book shops when I was a kid, and I wasn't like this hardcore where I knew everybody's backstory, and I knew, I wasn't one of those guys, but I was definitely a fan, and so working on it was cool, and I actually liked the movie. A lot of people crapped on the movie. I thought the movie was pretty good. I liked it. I'm most of those movies I am a fan of. I wasn't a fan of the big Daredevil movie. I just didn't get into that one too much, but I think superhero movie wise, I don't think there was another one where I really, didn't like. Majority of them I was into. I didn't like the Spider-Man with Doc Ock. I didn't really get into that one too much because I just thought it was like more of a love story, and it was, it just didn't. It wasn't bad by any means, but I like the other Spider-Mans better than it.
Yeah, I think the problem with Green Lantern, as we go kind of veer off from wrestling for a second, was that it wasn't a bad movie. It was just a movie that came out, and you had all these other good Marvel movies to compare it to. Like, Iron Man, Captain America, The Avengers. Like, those movies were on a whole different level. And Green Lantern, it was good, but it was an origin story. And it was like, if they would only give it a little bit of time, and we could have had a second movie to kind of flesh out the story. But I think it does get a bad rap, Luke.
Yeah, it does. And they were actually supposed to do another one. I don't know if it's still in the works or not, but and they were going to revamp it up. And I thought the graphics and stuff were really well on it as well. Call me crazy, but I it's been so long since I've seen it, but I know there's a lot of complaints about it, but I thought the graphics were pretty decent, and like I said, I enjoyed the movie. So.
Okay. And actually, when you decide to call it quits in your wrestling career, which will be, I'm going to guess 20, maybe 15 years down the line or so, would you consider actually going and transitioning over into Hollywood and just focusing more on movies, or did you feel you had other plans once you decided to step down from wrestling?
I don't have any plans. To be honest with you, I never even put any thought into it. I'll wrestle for as long as I can, and then at some point when it's time for me to hang it up, I will. I hope I'm not one of these guys who don't know when to hang it up, you know? But, you know, I love wrestling, so I'll always be somewhat involved in wrestling. You know, my goal is to be an office guy, whether it be with WWE, whether it be with Wildkat, and we expand, who knows? You know, but my goal is to be involved as a trainer and as a writer and as a, you know, booker, promoter. Like that's an agent. You know, that's my role. You know, I like, you know, some of the guys I idolize and in the business wise are guys like Tommy Dreamer, you know, and William Regal. So those are, you know, those are guys I look up to.
To me, the guys that don't get very much credit are guys like William Regal and, of course, Tommy Dreamer for what they do. So those are great choices.
Right. I don't have to be The Rock. I don't have to be the World Heavyweight Champion. And, you know, would it be nice? Of course it would. Everybody wants to do it. But is that like I have to go do this and I'm going to be so disappointed with my career if I don't know? Man, if I can do, you know, if I can be Tommy Dreamer or William Regal, man, I'd be ecstatic.
Now, throughout your career in professional wrestling, you've probably been around a variety of places, but have you actually been to Japan? And
I haven't. I haven't.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go?
I do want to go to Japan. It just hasn't happened. I've had 3 calls, and all of them have always fallen through for this reason or another. So who knows? Maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. But it's one thing I would definitely like to scratch off my bucket list.
Now, comparing the other styles, you've been in the UK a couple times for wrestling shows. Comparing the style difference, you know, from here in the United States to over there, what do you think? Do you kind of enjoy it more so better than you know, the other one? You know, United States versus UK.
Well, the difference in styles is the UK is more of a shoot grappling style. They're very well rounded in their technical wrestling wise, which I did not know that before going over there. So, you know, I've always heard great things about England, but when I went over there, I was just so intrigued. I just wanted to learn because their style is so different. So, which I would like to know every style and be able to, you know, work any style. So when I went there, I was just, besides doing my own thing and wrestling the shows, I trained a lot while I was there just to, and I didn't train to go, you know, train my wrestling. I trained whoever was around, like the Zebra Kid, Zach Beavis and Roy Beavis, who are Page's brothers. They're very well wrestling family and very well known in the UK. So when I was with them, and that's who I was there with, I just said, teach me, man. I want to learn everything you know.
You know, you talk about different styles and just kind of the different genres of pro wrestling, I guess, if you could say. One of the footnotes or credits in your career that always makes me smile because I'm one of the few people I know that still remember this promotion with some fondness was XPW, man. Do you have any good XPW stories that you can tell us tonight?
Stories, I mean, there's plenty of them. You know, to be honest, it's a part of my career that, you know, don't say I'm not thankful for it. I'm thankful for it, but it's not like a big focus. So when everybody says it's so great or they loved it, or I wasn't the biggest fan of XPW, you know, and I guess because of from more of a business sense, I've seen how it was run, I've seen how disorganized it was. And, you know, I was a part of the company. Was I thankful back then for the opportunity? Hell yeah, even now I'm thankful for it because it put me on the map when I wasn't on the map. You know, it gave me opportunity that I desperately needed. But as far as, like, me looking at it as, like, this great stepping stone and how good the company was, to be honest, it wasn't good. It was the shits. It was, you know, it was a poorly run company that just had money, and it was ran, you know, without Kevin Kleinrock and GQ Money, who's now working for WWE, you know, the company wouldn't have lasted that as long as it did, and it wouldn't have had the good things to it. They were the guys that brought the smartness to it, and the guys, you know, who wanted to have better wrestling shows instead of just some blood and guts and stupid big falls and porn stars.
That was going to be my next question. Like, you know, because to me, it seemed, of course, it had kind of an ECW template to it, but there was something about being on the West Coast. Do you think that if you had guys like, you know, the GQ Money or Kevin Kleinrock that had a bigger position in terms of the operations of the company instead of who was at the top, do you think maybe XPW could have gone on and in a different direction and maybe garnered some not only success but also something that people could hold up and say, man, that was a hell of a company.
Well, yeah, and it was towards the end. Really, it was. It was that's when they started really getting the notoriety. I mean, they had notoriety because they had DVDs and they had this and they had this guy and that guy and this big name and this ex-WCW star and this ex-WWE star. So that's where they had their big buzz from, and the death matches because they were trying to be the ECW knockoff. Now, when Kevin and GQ were high up already, but they were responsible for really putting those good cards together and bringing in the Chris Hamricks and the Hoovies and the and the Johnny Storms and the Danny Dorans and putting them with Chaos and Psychosis, instead of just seeing blood and guts. So and they started getting notoriety from that, having good matches, and what killed them, which was, I don't think it was anybody's concern. I mean, I knew it. There was other people, I'm sure, that did know it, but they had money, so they never expected the money to run out. But when you're flying 40 guys to Philadelphia to run a show on the East Coast, which was just a, big penis move, where you want to go, my penis is bigger than your penis, so we're going to come run our show here, and we're going to show you, you just can't fly cameramen and referees and it just into a building that holds 1,000 people. You're just not going to make that money back. So it's just throwing money away. And I think most people thought it was okay because they thought it doesn't matter. It's not about the money. But in the end, everything's about the money. If you're losing $20,000 on the show, how many shows can you run that you lose $20,000 on? Unless you're, Bill Gates. So, I mean, look at what WCW did.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at TNA right now.
Dude, TNA is a prime example. It's a sad state because it has so much potential, and they could do great things and give guys great opportunities, and it's just getting all thrown down the drain.
That's very true. With WrestleMania 31 coming out this way into my neck of the woods in California, and them putting, I guess, I don't know if it's true or they've kind of put it to where none of the other guys can actually have shows the same weekend in that area. Will you guys still be at least around the San Jose area? Are you guys coming out there to do any shows for WrestleMania weekend?
I have no plans of it as right now. I mean, it's still a ways away. Okay. I don't know. So as of right now, I'll tell you we don't have any plans.
Okay.
Now for Revolution Rumble,
what's that?
Go ahead.
Austin. Sorry. Yeah, I was saying Revolution Rumble this Saturday night. You were speaking of extreme with XPW, but a Hardcore Holly is a man that kind of defines the word extreme. But I'm sure that you guys are going to talk something.
Or maybe hardcore.
Hardcore, extreme. I don't know the difference, but I mean, I know Luke Hawx got to slip it up his sleeve. What do you think the fans are going to expect? We'll have to expect this Saturday night. Revolution Rumble, Meisler Middle School.
They expect the ass whooping. I mean, I've been beaten. Here's the thing about Holly, man. He's a tough guy. I give him that. But is he a bully? Has he taken advantage? Because everybody knows that. You're not going to take advantage of me. I proved that. That's one reason why I called him out to begin with. I'll give him a credit for having enough guts to come out of retirement and start fighting me. But I enjoy it. I like being rough and tough, so it ain't no thing to me. So he can't bully me around like he's done these other guys. We've wrestled several times. We just wrestled in Maryland and beat the hell out of each other. So, I mean, I look forward to it, and this is going to be something that you haven't seen at Wildkat before. I mean, I've had some good matches. The Ray Road matches, man, were brutal. Mm-hmm. But, it's a whole different element when you get in there with Holly, because I'll give credit what credit's due. He's a tough SOB, But like I said, I ain't no pushover. So, we'll go out there and we'll slug it out, and it's just going to be a hard-hitting contest. It's going to be a fight.
Best kind.
You're going to see a fight. That's what you're going to see.
And
the best kind of ones are the hard-hitting ones.
You're mentioning Ray Rowe. Ray Rowe was actually sidelined from a car accident, a motorcycle accident last month, I believe, or the beginning of last month, and or the beginning of September. Either way, is there any unfinished business between you guys?
Oh, no, we definitely want to have some more matches. I mean, that's my boy. So, we're very competitive with each other, and Roe's a very competitive guy, so, I know he's going to bounce back, and I can't wait to get back in the ring with him because, I mean, the first matches we had were brutal. It was just like You know, you hit me, I'm going to hit you hard, and we're going to come back. So I really enjoyed working with Ro because guys like that bring out the best in you. You know, so I can't wait till Ro gets healthy again and comes back, and then we take it to another level. That's the goal from there, is to take it to another level, and, you know, and do something we haven't done before.
No doubt. You can sign me up for a front row seat for that one. Luke, I know you might hate me on this one, man, but I got to ask the question. You know, we talked about XPW, and now, you know, I know you were part of a Wrestling Society X. You know, and I've heard stories about, you know, that there was so much money with MTV. They treated you guys so well, but at the end of the day, they just didn't know how to run a wrestling company. What was your experience with WSX? Well, yeah, I don't think it was a wrestling company, and I think that's where everybody mistaken, even myself, you know, for that matter. And somebody put it best way, and I really didn't learn this until this came around. They got this Lucha Underground show, which is basically WSX2 with Lucha on it. So, you know, it took a lot of ideas from WSX, and they're saying that this isn't a wrestling company, it's a TV show. So I don't think before that anybody's ever described anything like that. So when WSX was around, we thought it was a wrestling company. We were, you know, but when we went there, they didn't know what to expect. And we expected to do the same old wrestling shows that we're used to. So they were filming and used to filming TV shows. And that's what it was being filmed for, a TV show. You know, not Raw, not Vince McMahon's Monday Night Raw, a TV show on MTV. So the focus on the 16-year-old girl in the crowd, you know, screaming their lungs out. Not the biggest move and not, you know, telling a story and not, you know, selling any of that. It was focused to be this out of line, edgy, you know, we got electricity, we got fire, we got this, we got that, we got these young girls in the crowd, you know, and that's not what we looked at it as. So when you know, you're power bombing a guy and he's down and he's selling and he's out of breath and he's hurting, his head's hurting, and you're not seeing that on camera, and then they show you power bomb, and then the next thing they show is a guy shooting you off the ropes, where it made absolutely no sense because the guy was just on the ground, but when they cut back, he's on top of you. You know, so that's where it was like it didn't have that wrestling feel to it. It was a cool concept. Everybody thought it was going to be the next big thing. I even thought I was going to be wrestling in spring break. You know, we were going to be down in Panama City on the beach, and you know, going to MTV Music Awards. I had all these high hopes for it. And at the end of the day, it was just a good payday and some fun, good experience.
You know, actually, I heard somewhere at some point, I'd like to have you elaborate for me, that you met Terry Funk like in the beginning part of your career. How did you come to meet him? And was it? And tell us how that relationship started.
Terry Funk was the first wrestler I met when I was a kid. So, and then I met Terry Funk again when I was 16. I skipped school to go. WCW was in Biloxi, and I knew some of the guys back then because I kind of kept in touch with some of them. I was working my way into business, so I knew what hotel the guys were at and everything else. So I went and talked to Terry then, and I've always talked to Terry. And then I talked, you know, in XPW. Terry's, you know, one of those guys I look up to a lot. I wish I got to spend more time with him and been able to, you know, actually spend time on the road with him and maybe even wrestle him before he hung it up. But, you know, I'll never get that experience now. But as far as back then wise, the first time I met Terry, I bothered the hell out of him. I was about 10 years old, and it was at some old shows called, I think, NWF in New Orleans. And my real dad took me. My real dad, I never really had a relationship with. He never spent much time with me. That's a whole other ball game. But my uncle wanted some tickets to a wrestling show. He didn't want them, so he gave them to my dad. So my dad knew I liked wrestling, so my dad took me. And I didn't know who Terry Funk was at the time because, you know, I didn't catch all the locals. I grew up dirt poor. I didn't have a TV half the time. But when I got the chance to watch WWF or, you know, any of that, you know, back then, if wrestling, any kind of wrestling was on, I was watching it. So, or if it was on the radio, because if y'all probably don't remember, I don't know how old y'all. I know Austin Junk. WWF used to come on the radio, so I used to listen to the radio program. Like when Jake the Snake got when Damien got squashed by Earthquake, I listened to all that on the radio. So
wasn't that with Jim Ross and Gorilla Monsoon doing the radio then?
I don't remember because I was so young. It was so long ago.
Okay.
But I mean, I used to. That's how I a lot of times I listened to the show on the radio. So, cause like I said, I didn't have a TV. I was poor. But anyway, so I went to these shows, and you know, I was in Tuxedo. Terry was doing commentary. He was doing the host, and you know, he was our Brett Landry. So, my dad brought me over to him. My dad's like, "Hey, this is Terry Funk," you know, and I was like, "Holy hell, my dad knows wrestlers." He didn't, you know, just as a kid, that's what I thought. So, and Terry was such a nice guy. He just talked to me and kept talking. So I just bothered the hell out of him the whole night. And I pretty much didn't leave his side except when they were filming and like kind of shooting me off. And Terry never once did. And Terry would always spend time and talk to me. And it was just, you know, so after that, like Terry Funk was my hero all of a sudden because it was like this wrestler is giving me the time of the day. So it was just, man, one of them experiences that, you know, for the rest of my life, I'll remember and I'll tell stories about it, and it'll always be a special moment for me.
Now, 3 years Wildkat's been around, and this Saturday Night Revolution Rumble, you guys are going to be here for the 3rd anniversary show. What does it mean to you, you know, to come this far, starting back in 2011, right? Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to come this far with Wildkat?
We have a long way to go. I mean, I'm excited about our, you know, as far as we've made it. You know, we've every day is a struggle, though. You know, it's not like we got it great. We don't have it bad by any means. But, you know, I'm always on the ground. I'm always focusing on bigger and better, you know, and I'm not trying to be the WWE. I'm not trying to be the new ECW. I'm just trying to have a good product. I'm trying to run great wrestling shows. I'm trying to run a good school. You know, have great students and build the future of wrestling. So, you know, it's a struggle. We got to keep new students coming in. We got to, you know, do new things with our shows. We always got to do something that nobody else is doing. We have to expand, so to say. So, I'm excited. I'm pumped up. It's a big show. There's a lot of money going into the show. It's, you know, high expectations. But at the end of the day, it's still a show. We have to go out there and deliver.
Absolutely.
So, you know, like, I can't say anything about it. I can't tell you, oh, this is going to be the best show ever, and this is going to be, we're going to be the next big thing after this. And this it's scheduled to be our biggest event of all time.
Absolutely.
But it's a entertainment show. We have to get through it. These guys have to perform, you know. These guys got to deliver. So, everything has to, you know, all our ducks have to be in a row. So I'll be happy when we're through with it, and then we move on to the next one.
Now, to be a part of Wildkat Professional Wrestling facility in Metairie, I believe, how can guys get in contact with you in order to do that?
Facebook is Wildkat Sports and Entertainment, Twitter, Instagram, Wildkat Sports, Cat with a K, wildkatsports.com. Our email, everything you need is on those sites. So it's not that hard. If you're interested in training, as far as, you know, new wrestlers, we're not really looking for new wrestlers right now. Not that I ever say we're not, but we have a lot of guys right now. We run 6 shows a year.
You have an amazing array of talented guys and girls on your squad there, no doubt about it.
Yeah, we have 30 plus guys, so we're always it's hard to fit everybody in. So, you know, I hate when guys email me and, you know, want an opportunity and I can't provide it. I wish I was the WWE. I wish I was this big company and I had shows every week and, you know, where I can rotate guys out and bring other guys in, and I just can't do it. Right now, we focus on our guys and the guys who have been here since day one and the guys who work hard, and, you know, so I hate having to tell guys that I can't provide them with an opportunity to come wrestle for us, that we're too booked up, you know. I mean, I guess it's good for us, but as far as business-wise goes, nobody wants to get turned down, you know.
Yep.
They don't want to hear. They want opportunity too. So that's why I feel bad, because I'm still, you know, I was a wrestler coming up and looking for a chance. And I'm not saying don't send us your stuff because you never know. You never know. A door might open. You never know what's going to happen. There's always potential. You know, you hustle and grind, and if you want to be a part of something, you make your way a part of something. You don't take
that was actually going to lead me to a question I wanted to ask you too. If you, I mean, how do you handle now? Because knowing when you first started as a young man, you were just breaking in, and you had some people that were willing to help you, some that weren't. But no matter what, you busted your ass to get where you are today. If you had a young man come to you, or young lady for that matter, come to you and want some advice about getting into the wrestling business, what kind of advice would you give them?
Hello?
I'm still here.
Okay, I thought I lost y'all for a second. What advice would you give them? Well, I'm straight.
No, I'm just saying, what kind of advice would you give any young man or young lady that comes to you wanting to get into the business?
I'm a straight shooter, man, so I would just say, you know, if you really want to be in this business, you give your all to the business. You know, I'm not saying you got to be homeless and sleep in your car and then do things that I did, but I'm not saying leave your wife. I'm not, you know, but you give your all to the business. You know, don't say, oh, well, I can't come to training on Tuesday nights because I got football practice. And, you know, I throw darts on Thursdays. And, you know, I can't work out because if you got excuses that you can't do anything that practice requires and you can't be at practice, don't even waste your time. Stay your ass home.
That's true.
You know, if you want it, you make the sacrifices that's done for the business. And hard work can't be denied. And you have to be a realist. And most people aren't realists. Most people, you know, believe in their head they're good when they can look at a tape and know they suck. You know what I'm saying? So you get people who come in here and they act like they're working hard, and they're not even breaking a sweat, and they're acting like they're dying. They're breathing so heavy, but they're not even sweating. So it's like, you know, if you are lazy, SOB, stay your ass at home. Don't waste my time. Don't waste anybody else's time. Now, if you want to be a wrestler and you want to be serious and you want to work hard and you want to be the best, then come on. We're here for you. But go wherever you want. Go to the Monster Factory. Go to Joey Chaos or Santino Brothers. Go to the Samoan School. Any of them. Go to Knox Pro. Go to Creator Pro by
Team
Kurt
3D.
Hawkins. There's several. Team 3D. There's a lot of good schools across the United States. Not a lot. There's a handful. But they're there.
A handful, yeah.
You know, East Coast, West Coast, the South, we all got a good school somewhere. Go to Booker T's. You know, there's schools to go to that can provide you opportunity, and, you know, if you go out there and you're working hard. So, you know, if you're not a hard worker, I'd just say stay your ass home.
Amen. Is there anything that you in 2014 would go back and say to yourself when you first started out in wrestling? Any advice that would have been helpful to you?
I would have got my ass in the gym a long time ago, man. I was very stubborn about going to the gym. I'm not saying I wasn't perfect, you know, and I'm still not perfect. But I would have started in the gym a long time ago instead of, you know, taking so long to get involved with that. I was
but now
so caught up in.
You're Mr. Huge F in arms now, so.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they're not huge enough. I got to get them huger. So it's like one of those things, you know, I was so caught up with, like, I got a little name, I got some buzz, you know, and I always knew, like, my story is different than everybody else. Like, I really didn't have a place to train. I broke in with Vic Grimes, and then when I moved home, I didn't have a place to, you know, work on my fundamentals or any of that stuff, and my just everything all in one. So I was
even getting to know the fact how close you got to Paul Bear, Percy Pringle, William Moody, however you guys know him as.
Right.
I remember we talked about him last year and how close you guys were with him. And then he got to go into the Hall of Fame. Did you happen to catch the Hall of Fame or watch it on DVD?
No, I didn't get a chance to check it out yet, man. I need to. But, yeah, I mean, I was close to him, but he didn't have nothing back then. You know, he wasn't training guys, and he didn't have a training center. So I didn't have anything back then to break into. So, I mean, I had people to talk to, but I didn't have a place to, like, better my craft at. So, that was one of the points of breaking in, starting Wildkat, is to provide people that didn't have that opportunity here. So, like, I would watch matches, and I would go, man, that sucked. I would watch my matches and realistically watch and say, God, that punch looks terrible. God, that kick looks terrible. God, the way I do this looks terrible. You know, so I said, I need to work on this. I need to fix this. Most guys watching, they like, oh, check out my match, and they put it on YouTube, and they putting it on their Facebook. But you got to be proud of yourself, but at the same time, you got to be like, yeah, I probably should
learn from your mistakes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, and I made many mistakes, man. I still make them. So, and I'm gonna make more, and then hopefully I just continue to capitalize and better myself and get better.
Luke, I want to ask you, as before we let you go, do you have any upcoming shows? Of course, you got the Revolution Rumble this weekend. Are you going to be at WrestleCade later this month, or any other shows coming up?
I will be at WrestleCade. Yeah, I will be at WrestleCade. Got a big match at WrestleCade. It's myself, it's Big Zeke, who was formerly Zico Jackson, and Tarver, who was Tarver in WWE, against Moose, Crimson, and God, what's his name? Gunner.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
I think
that's going to be a pretty stacked card.
Yeah, it's a battle of the big guys, and then the muscle men, and then there's Crimson.
No doubt about that. Well, you know what? We want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, doing stunts, working in movies and in wrestling, and then coming on to talk about your Revolution Rumble that's coming up. We wish you the best of luck, and you always know that we always have a great amount of respect for what you do and you guys too. So you're always welcome to come back anytime.
No, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I appreciate the plugs. And, if anybody wants to check me out, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything is Luke Hawx 504. So, Luke Hawx 504. Check out all the Wildkat stuff and check out our free videos on YouTube. Check out the Halloween special, man. The Halloween special we just posted up the other day. It's really, really good. So, you can check out it's got a three-way dance between Socorro, Bestia 66 from Mexico, and Bo Brady. So, we got some killer stuff for free online.
Nice.
All right. Hey, Luke, you mind? I got one more question for you, brother.
Shoot.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I was just checking out your Twitter page that you just plugged in, and under your description, you got, of course, wrestler, actor, stuntman, but also frustrated father, man. How has fatherhood changed you?
Wow, it's probably the best question of all time, man, because like I said, I grew up and I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, so I knew that I didn't want that with my kid. And I had a lot of help with my kid. I was fortunate. He had his mom and his grandma and his aunt, and not my side of the family, but and then my adopted parents. He had my adopted dad there. So, my son got this unbelievable support system that I didn't have growing up. And he's a stellar. I got two kids now. A 16-year-old. He just made 16 Sunday. And then I have a 3-year-old. He's a stellar kid, man. He won his first state wrestling for the first time last year, Greco-Roman at high school, and he won the state championship. So he's going to do it again this year. He's up in weight class. He's down it, bro. He's got a big plans to go, be a big star in wrestling. He's a stout kid. He's tall. He's 6'1". He's in all honors, fully fluent in Spanish. There's so many good things. A lot of people like to brag about the kids, but I could say, man, I have a good kid, and I was fortunate enough that he is a good kid because, we've raised him the right way, but at the same time, your kid also has to make conscious decisions and do the right thing, and he's one of those kids that I can't complain about. He's never had a detention or a behavior report or any of this, never kicked out of class. He's like, I'm blessed, man, and I'm lucky to get the time with him that I have and have this relationship. I love him. He's one of my best friends. Besides my girl.
We definitely got to get him on the show eventually, sometime down the line, maybe next year or something.
Yeah, bring him on, man. He's doing big things, and he's out. He's very involved in pro wrestling, and he's ref some matches, and he's been involved with the stuff with like Matt Hardy, and he ain't training pro yet. He's done some like chain wrestling and stuff like that, and psychology wise. But I won't start him until I think his body's fully developed, and there's no rush on it. Right now we focus on amateur wrestling. And we focus on, these championships he's taking home because he's a beast, man. He's the captain of the wrestling team. His second year, and he's the captain of the team. So he's a sophomore in high school. I'm proud of my baby. That's my baby. I'm very proud of him.
Definitely, I can hear that in your voice. Definitely a proud papa.
Yeah, man. I'm lucky.
You got a future second generation star in the making.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
And but like the answer that how's it changed me or how's it made me grow, it's made me want to provide the best for him. you know. And so a lot of things I do, I say, hey, well, you know, can I make it easier on him? As much as I was like, man, these guys are getting roles because their dad's somebody. I wouldn't want any different from my kid. You know, I appreciate the way I came in the Hard Knocks way. But, you know, if my kid doesn't have to go sleep in his car and do the things I did, and he can get a WWE developmental contract at a young age, why not, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, that's the way it leads to the future.
All right, Luke. Well, we want to thank you again for coming on. I know you got to get back to doing your business, running the Wildkat thing going. You guys got your show this weekend. We appreciate your honesty about all the questions we've asked and everything and the stories you've shared. And, again, like I said, we look forward to bringing you back sometime in the future. Definitely one of our favorites on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too, man.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Take it easy, man.
The one and the only Luke Hawx, Wildkat Wrestling. He's a great guy. Definitely has a lot to say, and like Austin said, he doesn't put no sugar in it. I don't know if you're supposed to put sugar in words, but I mean, hey, I guess it takes away from the sweetness of the words or something.
No,
I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now. So.
Yeah, Luke Hawx is a man who carries no sugar in his pocket. Why would he? The best trainers are the ones who give it, down the line on the pine. You know what I'm talking about? It's if you tell them the truth, they make them better. It's kind of like common sense. If you tell somebody a lie, you're misleading them. Luke Hawx does not tell anybody lies. But like I said, he tells how it is, no matter what. And that's what Wildkat Professional Wrestling is. And their show, Revolution Rumble, Meisler Middle School, 7 p.m. this Sunday and Saturday night. The tickets are $10. I mean, save your $9.99 at a cent, and you can go to the show. Seriously, it's that good. Booker T, Bob Holly, Luke Hawx, Matt Lancey, Purple Haze, former guest on Pipebomb Radio, Pink Flamingo. I mean, Dan Flamingo. I mean, so many guys are going to be there just to show off how good they really are, and there's a lot of good ones.
That is true. He's always, like I said, there are very few guests that we bring on the show that end up being repeated guests because of the fact that their story is always so good to tell, and you know what, it's just a joy to speak to them. You know, and I definitely put Luke Hawx in that category of guests that we can bring on anytime and just have fun. You know?
Most definitely.
But I've got to change the channel here and go to Monday Night Raw. The Boss returned. It was good to see Mr. McMahon back. I always get a kick out of seeing Vinnie Mac.
Most definitely.
Yeah, he was in rare form, like just coming down the ramp. Like he had some extra spring in his step.
He did. And you know what, though? I'm wondering where this stipulation is going to end up going, as he's made it clear that if Team Authority loses, they're no longer in power. Does that mean Vince is coming back into power, going to be on TV again? Is there going to be a new GM or something? Are they going to go off TV for a little while? Because they've been on for a while now. Usually Steph and Hunter aren't usually on TV as much as there are more on now than they ever were.
Yeah, I think Vince McMahon being there, he hasn't been there in a while, and I think he comes around right when the big things that have potential, to kind of start happening, like the WWE Network, it's proving to be successful, but at the same time, it's not exactly where they want it to be. So Vince McMahon has to come out, and say it's $9.99. Go on the computer, go on your smartphone or your iPad machines, and order the WWE Network, subscribe. This entire month for free, so why wouldn't you? Plus,
you got to be a new subscriber, though. You can't be an old subscriber. You got to be new.
ECW, WCW, every single pay-per-view of all time is on there, and so much more. And it's like, why wouldn't you want that for $9.99?
They still need to add so much to that library. I still think that there's so much more to add.
Think of this. If you were them, would you put everything there at once? I wouldn't. I would.
Well, no, I'm not saying to put it all at once.
Something,
start revealing some more stuff like Prime
Time. It's all there. What can you expect?
Primetime Wrestling, Tuesday Night Titans, some of the shows from the AWA way back when, maybe even World Class. I think they've got some of their library too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, just make it to where at least once every couple months, or even maybe a couple times a year or whatever, put out some new material, whether it be new, whether it be past. These Monday Night Raw series that they've been doing has been, from what I've seen, been pretty successful, and now they're introducing the rivalries, which I didn't see tonight yet, but I did see the one with Vince and and Stone Cold last week, and that was fun. That was fun reliving those moments because I remember watching them on TV, and just to get to see what kind of crazy stuff that Steve would be doing to Vince each week, and Vince having the grapefruits, realizing he's not a wrestler, but he'll beat you down. He'll potato you upside the head several times.
Oh, Vince knows. He's an entertainer, and he is damn good at it. The WWE would not be where it is today without him. The visionary that he is, it's beyond words.
Yeah, I mean, the guy.
We have a new. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. I mean, he's not perfect. He's made some mistakes. Lord knows he's treated people badly in some instances. But at the end of the day, man, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, you got to give it up to Vince McMahon. And it really was cool to see him again on Raw this past Monday.
Yeah, I think he does it smartly. He stays away for a little bit and comes back, and regardless of how they feel about the Authority, regardless if you love or hate Vince, you got to respect what he's done. And some people say he's out of touch now with what people want, and so this and that. And I really believe Triple H and Stephanie have more power than they're letting on. I'm really starting to believe that Vince may have kind of pushed off some of the powers onto them, although he's got the final say with a lot of things, and he's still the boss. But the power relies with Stephanie and Hunter.
Felix, is it weird? Like, I think maybe you and I might be on the same page because we're closer to the same age than a young Padawan. But is it weird? Is it weird that, like, Vince McMahon, the ultimate villain, like, he's now this, like, you can't hate on him. Like, he's just this old guy that you remember from when he was crazy, and he's almost like a Terry Funk character now. Like, he's just an old guy.
Middle-aged crazy. There you go. I can agree with that. He's definitely one of those type of characters that you just love to hate and just respect him overall for what he's done. You know, there are just some characters that'll never be able to be loved any more than they are or hated any more than they were. They're just all around respected, if anything else.
No, I mean, like respected is the key word there, because no matter what Vince McMahon has done in his past, every single time his theme music hits and he walks out, WWE chairman, you hear the crowd, just roar, because they know that everything that they're getting is potentially from him. Not potentially. It's all from him. Throughout time, throughout his father, his grandfather, it all led to Vince McMahon. That's what's leading now into Triple H and Stephanie. And I honestly think, I don't know about you guys, Triple H is definitely he has a good hand on the future of WWE. I really do. I
would have liked to see Shane come back and help in some form or fashion, but I respect his decision to stay away.
Does he have his own
Shane had a great mind and has a great input to share, but ultimately, I think with him, and I think we talked about this on other shows, but I think with Shane, it's a matter of being a man thing, I guess you could say. It's a matter of wanting to not just necessarily take over the family business, but maybe want to create your own legacy.
Yeah. I think it's
Shane has done... He's done so much, and I think this would be smart, but I would love to see him back. The fan in me wants to see him back in WWE.
I agree. I think it's the man thing, Felix, but I also think that it's, as crazy as it's going to sound, I think Triple H is closer to Vince than Shane is in terms of the mindset.
True.
Like, Shane has other interests. Shane likes technology. Shane likes MMA. Shane has broad interests. Triple H and Vince, it's wrestling 100% of the time.
That's true. I can agree with that. I know Triple H has always been about wrestling since the moment he stepped into WWE 20 years ago. Even with the Clique and always talking about wrestling, no matter what their discussions were. Be it good or bad, whether you liked the Clique or you didn't. They made a lot of money. They went pretty far in their group and in their times in professional wrestling. And that being said, I'm going to jump ahead to Randy Orton. I really feel that this whole turnaround for him is going to work because people do not like Seth, and they're cheering on Randy because Randy has been kind of pushed off to the side, so to speak.
What are you talking about?
And kind of made to stand behind Seth as opposed to standing up there with him.
Seth Rollins is best for business. He wasn't going to
stand for that.
And if you guys don't get that, I don't know if you guys know what's best for business.
Randy is still in his prime, and he's still got another 5 to 10 more years left in him if he wanted it. Man's only 34 years old. It's not like he's downhill. He's middle-aged and old, or put off on the back burner now because he's in his 30s. I mean, hell, he's got a legacy that he's built.
Like Randy, if you go back even as recently as 3 months ago, when Randy was like in the backup role with Kane, he was so boring, so bland. But now it's like, man, like Randy Orton, the moment he hits that RKO on Triple H, he'll be the biggest babyface in the company.
You know, he's going to be filming the new movie, The Condemned 2. So I'm assuming what they did to him on Raw last night, was to definitely write him off of TV for a little while so he can go. And out of all films, I was surprised to see would be the sequel to The Condemned. That was a really, really good movie. I enjoyed it. And it had Steve Austin in it. Now, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Randy in this Part 2 movie. It's somewhat similar, but who's to say what it's going to be? I definitely want to check it out.
It seems like you guys got it all wrong. Seth Rollins is after business. I got to tell you, after Triple H after Randy Orton did every single thing that he did this past Monday Night on Raw to the Authority as a whole, I hope he gets payback. I mean, I hope Triple H and the Authority gets payback, and they will, and they're going to sideline him for forever. That's what happens. And Randy Orton's venom is running loose, and it's starting to run thin because Survivor Series is in a couple of weeks, and I believe Randy's going to appear at Survivor Series on Team Cena, and the Authority's going to destroy him. They're going to I think they're going to save him for the next pay-per-view in December. I think they'll save him for December and have him work with Seth, maybe have a match, or maybe even Kane to build up to the anticipation of having those two fights. Randy, you know what? As they've said in the past, you don't want to ever trust a snake, whether it was a rattlesnake or in this case a viper. You never know when they're going to pop out and catch you, because they do it out of nowhere every time.
Let me throw this at you then, Felix. Let me throw this at you, brother, because this is something I've been thinking about ever since Monday night. Like, we know Randy's going to take some time off, but let's say Survivor Series. We've got Team Authority and Team Cena. Randy's not on either team. And then at the beginning of the Survivor Series, let's say it's Ryback is on Team Cena. Ryback is laid out in the back. We think the Authority laid Ryback out the whole night. Who's going to help Cena? Is Ryback going to be okay? Come the time of the main event. Turns out the Authority didn't lay Ryback out. Randy Orton did because he's pissed off at the Authority. Orton shows up in his hometown unannounced. That would be the biggest pop that they can get on that show, in my opinion. It's going to happen.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
It's in his hometown. That's the thing, and you guys
need to realize
that
Randy
Orton, he's going to get the Authority is going to take care of him, because what he did this past Monday Night on Raw was not loyal at all. I don't care what he says. That wasn't a loyal thing to do.
Old Austin is back, folks. Like him or not. The old what's best for business Austin is back in town, whether we want him here or not.
Now, what's really best for business is an exciting babyface, and I hate to say it because it's something I wouldn't have said 6 months ago, but Randy Orton could be your biggest babyface coming out of Survivor Series.
At least until Reigns gets back.
Yeah.
Whether it be next year or whatever, I'm not sure what 2015 holds. I'm hoping good things for sure. But yeah, as far as closing out the year, they've got Dean Ambrose, who is going to be working with Bray, and I look forward to those matches because those two are both nuts, and I think they're going to put on a hell of a show. Seth is going to have his hands full with Randy before he even gets a chance to get to Cena. Cena is going to have Brock for however many times it's going to be now. He's not going to win the title back. We all know it. I mean, at this point, what's the point? They don't have anybody to put up against him, which is going to be in probably not until January, when they decide to put him up against somebody new. Who? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that far yet.
No, look how blind you guys are. You can't even realize that there's a beast lurking in the corner. Brock Lesnar, he's going to be there for Survivor Series, and he's going to go head-to-head with John Cena in that match. It's bound to happen.
It ain't going to happen in Survivor Series.
He's going to be on the Authority side with the title, and it's going to happen. And he's going to destroy Randy Orton while he's there, too. That's what's going to happen, and that's best for business. And if you can't get that, then you can't get anything.
Now, I'll tell you I'll tell you one reason, Austin, my friend, why Brock Lesnar is not going to be at the Survivor Series.
Why? It is in his hometown? Is that it?
Remember, we talked about Vince McMahon to start this topic. Remember one of Vince's favorite sayings? It's all about the money. Survivor Series is going to be free for a lot of people, and Brock Lesnar is not going to work for free.
Brock Lesnar No.
You're going to have to pay.
You're going to have to pay for Brock Lesnar. Hey, Brock
no, he
worked
didn't
for
work for free at SummerSlam. He did not work for
he
free
was on the
at
network.
SummerSlam.
$9.99. He was on the network for SummerSlam.
He got,
he was on the network
he's
for
got a contract that
beating
deals
the
that
Undertaker at WrestleMania 21.
He shows the appearances there, and he gets paid like $5 or $10 million for those appearances.
Good.
He's already been paid, whether he shows up or not.
Yeah. But he's not going to work on a show that a lot of people are going to get this network for free in November. Survivor Series is probably going to be one of the biggest watched shows. They're not going to put Brock Lesnar out there for a show. Like, you're going to have to pay that $9.99 for Brock Lesnar.
Absolutely. At this point, he's been. That's just it. Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry. You know what? He's got a great year, but the man lacks passion. He lacks passion for the sport. He just is all about the money, and he's always been about the money. Like him or not, I don't like that mentality. But you know what? I give him credit where credit's due. He's a hell of an athlete. That's about all I'll say.
You can take your credit and put it somewhere else because Brock Lesnar. Who cares about passion when you have pain? And here comes the pain when Brock Lesnar's going to be in the ring, Survivor Series, taking out Randy Orton.
You are not a Brock Lesnar fan, so quit being fake and shut up already.
Anybody to have in that ring. Brock's going to take him out because
why do we always talk Lesnar with Austin? Like he always gets fired up for Brock Lesnar.
Apparently he does. Maybe he's under the payroll of the authority and just doesn't want to tell us nothing.
No, you know why?
He's sure sucking up to them like they were.
It's really obvious with a guy like Brock Lesnar having that WWE title around his waist for quite some time, beating the Undertaker.
That's just a slap in the face to people who should have the title like a Daniel Bryan.
Nobody's done that. He did it. I'm behind him all the way. And why wouldn't you be? Nate, I don't even know why you're not behind Brock Lesnar. Being the beast that he is.
I don't care for Brock. He doesn't have the passion to be a good champion. He's not a good champion.
Well,
sorry. He's not.
You know what's funny though? He
has a passion to be home, making money, not doing a damn thing. That's all there is to it.
And people fans gave The Rock so much crap when he came back for those WrestleManias. Like, oh, he's a part-time wrestler. He shouldn't be taking somebody's spot at WrestleMania. They gave The Rock so much crap, but they're just, they're quiet right now for Brock Lesnar. And The Rock I'd much rather watch The Rock than Brock. Just being real with it.
Pretty much.
or why not Brock versus Rock again? Maybe in the future.
That's been talked about. I don't see it happening, to be honest. With the new movie Fast 7 coming out around that time, I don't see how it's going to work. I really don't, because he's going to be doing a lot of promoting for the movie, a lot of appearances for the movie. No time to build a story. No time. I don't see it happening unless they're going to do a satellite skits again like they did with John Cena.
And speaking of $9.99, out of sense, and you can actually go to the Revolution Rumble this Saturday night, Wildkat Professional Wrestling, and go to Revolution Rumble, see Luke Hawx, Booker T, who's actually going to be on the the show signing autographs, and probably has an in-ring a segment or something. He's probably going to do something over there. Besides that, that's the 666. Purple Haze, he's been on the show before. Danny Flamingo, always a nice guy. Along with so many more are going to be there. It's Meisler Middle School, 7 p.m. bell time, Metairie, Louisiana. If you're not at the show, I don't even know if you're at. I really have no clue what you're going to be doing on the day. You're probably going to go, eat at Subway or something, which I would do too, but not on Saturday night. Not on Saturday night for the Revolution Rumble.
There was less Diva matches this time around?
Huh?
Did you guys notice that there were less Diva matches this time around than Monday Night Raw?
What are you talking about?
I did.
Diva?
I did.
There was only one Diva match this time around, as opposed to 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you should be answering something, Austin. You're a big Diva lover. Well, I should say the Bella lover, because you're so a big fan of their rivalry and Nikki making Brie look like a fool.
No, let me tell you. Nikki and Brie.
You have been such a pro Bella rivalry since it started. Oh, gosh, I'm loving this. I wonder where it's going to go.
They're sisters, and sisters fight, and they're going to get over with.
So you don't care about it,
but I know with love and your passion that you always talk about, it's gonna turn into something. It's gonna turn to love again. It's gonna turn into love.
I guess.
The
only way that this match is going to be entertaining is if you stick the women in the Hell in the Cell. End of story.
Yep.
Exactly, and I'm looking forward to that. But not just any Hell in a Cell.
You are not the same Austin we talked to you a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this.
No, I don't want Hell in a Cell. I want to see him fight because that's what good family members do. They fight it out and they get back together.
They fight it out themselves.
I want to see a first time ever 1-versus-1 elimination chamber versus Brie Bella versus Nikki Bella.
Elimination chamber?
Heel all the time. Elimination chamber. Only two people in there, and it's going to be pink. Okay, it's going to be pink. It's the death chamber. We have to make it look nice.
Well,
for the girls.
Dude, you're smoking something. You got to quit smoking them funny cigarettes, son.
I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke anything. But I'm just saying, Brie versus Nikki is something that you need to watch because those two are going to fight it out until they get back together. It's only you have to hit fences before you can cross it or get over it.
God rest their souls. I would rather watch the Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young get in the ring and wrestle again than those two.
Yes.
I love those. Those are the two hot chicks when they were around. But besides them, Rusev is the United States champion after Monday Night Raw.
It seemed like it was a quick match.
Well, no, I know it was really good, but Sheamus, you would think he would have beat him because he's the Celtic Warrior and everything. But Rusev crushed. He proved to be the man that he is alongside Lana.
You know what? The irony about the title match is that neither one of them are actual United States people. They're not American. Neither one of them are non-American. And they're holding a U.S. title. Wow. The irony of that.
Let me ask you guys something, though, about that match, because I thought it was interesting, like the way that you put a big, significant match on the network, where you're like, hey, man, thanks for watching Raw, but if you want to see this title match, go to the network. I think that's a good idea, but I don't think it's something you can do every week. Like, I wouldn't want to see them do that every week because I think you burn out your audience.
Yeah, you do. I agree. It's something that can definitely spice up the show from time to time, but not something you can do where you tend to overdo it, and then it gets. Yeah, I agree. Kind of like they did the commercial-free Raws that they used to do every now and then. I love those because it's straight through, no commercials.
Yep.
But they won't do that all the time.
Yeah, I have actually a question for you, TNA8. That's what you want me to call them. TNA. I don't know what's happened with it. Bobby Lashley's been destroyed. Bobby Roode is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Tomorrow night on Impact Wrestling, we're going to see the first night as he has his championship belt around his waist. What do you expect from TNA within the coming months? Because I don't know. I think they're coming down to their last few tapings. They have no new tapings scheduled for the next month. You look on their website, the next shows they have is the UK and Manchester. That's it.
You said within the coming months. I'm focused on the coming weeks. Like, that's what it's all about, because they've got 3 weeks left of original shows that they taped in Bethlehem, and then it's best of till the end of the year. So if they don't get a new TV deal, this is going to be really interesting, because in this day and age, it's very hard for a company to be a national company without TV. So I hope they can get it. TNA's put on some pretty good shows as of late. Like, Lashley and Roode has been a pretty good feud. The title match was very good, and even though Lashley lost, he still was not the worst booked brother of the week. That was Xavier Woods with whatever the hell he was doing on Raw Monday night.
Oh, Xavier's a good guy. He is a PhD.
So why is he singing with a choir? I thought he was putting together a group with Kofi and Big E, and now he's James Brown all of a sudden.
What are you smoking? I never seen that. I never seen that happen. Xavier Woods is going to go on, and he's a doctor. He's a PhD. He has a PhD in whatever doctors have PhDs in. But
just to warn you, Austin is delirious and doesn't always see what we see. The real things. He sees what he wants to see, and the fact that he was going to be a part of this group that was like the Nation of Domination Part 2. I think the reason they disbanded that is because of the fact that people nowadays are way too damn sensitive. Cannot take anything for what it really is the fact it's a show. An example would be the things that Lana said about being the Russian thing. And it blew up to something it really didn't need to be. People are just too damn sensitive now. They can't handle television like that anymore. It's a shame.
Hey, this is wrestling. People it's wrestling. Come on.
Well, they want to call it entertainment now.
Woods Truth to be back home. I want Woods Truth to be a new tag team. Woods Truth, R-Truth, and Xavier Woods back together, brothers forever. I want them to be a tag team, and I want them to, to go on and fix everybody up with their thugonomics and their doctrines and everything.
What?
That's what people do.
That's what people do? How come you don't do it?
Because that's, I can't even answer that. But, besides that, what I was going to mention about TNA, within the next couple of weeks, actually be, heading off to their best of shows, which I'm pretty sure everybody's going to watch. But, Lucha
I sense
Underground,
sarcasm in your
you
voice.
also watch this. I don't have any
watch none of
sarcasm
that,
in my
to be
voice.
honest.
I don't talk about sarcasm.
Watch it. The only thing that they're really proud of is the fact that they were able to get Kurt Angle to re-sign with them with no TV deal.
Oh my God!
After them saying that they were not going to sign
Kurt
anybody
Angle,
else.
It makes me angry. Kurt Angle, no, he has to. He has to know.
And it's not even Angle's fault. WWE don't want to bring him back.
I know, but the thing is, Angle's smart enough, I think, to know. Maybe he has. I believe in his heart that I think he wants to see something come out of this, which I do as well. I think Nate does as well. Felix, I'm sure you do. TNA is an awesome company. They just need to get their crap together. That's it. It's so simple. But with the few amount of resources.
I will say this, Austin. I will say this. TNA has awesome talent. They have awesome people in the ring and behind the scenes. But in terms of a company and how the company is run, they need to get their stuff together. Like, they're not an awesome company because the people at the top got to get their, they have to realize they're not the WWE, but that doesn't mean they can't be something good.
Well, no, it's an awesome company, meaning throughout the years, the past 12 years they've been here, they've given some really cool moments and just some really, why do they do that type of moments, which they have a lot of. But besides that, I've always watched it every single week it was on, and I believe they can still pull something out of it. They can be suitable again. That can be really what TNA is about. Remember, I think the last good moments of TNA. There's been many good moments over the years, but I think in 2008 and 2009 is kind of where it ended. When and it's sad to say Hulk Hogan, when he came in, I think people blame a lot of it on him, which I don't necessarily blame everything on Hulk Hogan. I think he brought buzz in for a little bit, but then it kind of went downhill. But I think they should stick to what TNA made. Whatever made TNA is what they should have stuck with. Remember, it was always spotty with X Division. Remember how they brought the X Division in? They spotlighted it for a while, then they kind of bring it down. Then they spotlighted it for like a second, then they bring it down. They need to have a constant showing of guys, and they just have constant programming. That's always you know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Part of the problem with TNA is they've had so many different people controlling what goes on the TV. You've had Bischoff and Hogan. You have Vince Russo. You have Bruce Pritchard. You've had whoever they got now, the committee they've got now. It's like you can't go through all these different leadership regime changes and have a consistent product. Like, TNA has been really great at times, and TNA has been pretty bad at times, and that goes to, you got to have consistency. The one thing about the WWE, whether you like them or not, is they've been consistent. They've had Vince McMahon running that thing for all of these years, and you know what you're going to get from them. You may not like what you see, but you know what you're going to get. With TNA, a lot of times it's like, man, they got so many talented guys and girls on that roster, but I don't know what I'm going to get from week to week. And then that's been a problem with TNA. They really haven't had a chance to form an identity. And, I hope they get another chance. I hope they get a TV deal. But I also hope if they get this TV deal that they're smarter about their business plan and they're smarter about, hey, man, we can't be Vince McMahon, but we can be the best TNA we can be.
Amen.
Okay.
Oh, and I actually want to speak about this. Felix, I know you actually watched this. Lucha Underground, El Rey Network. Luke Hawx spoke briefly about it, saying it was kind of like a rip-off of the MTV wrestling show a while back. But, I think there's a very good balance. Since you watched it, you kind of know. There's a really good wrestling. John Morrison versus Ricochet. Prince Puma, he's being called now. It's really Ricochet. But then there's Chavo Guerrero versus Blue Demon Jr. Matt, he was in Tough Enough. Matt, I can't pronounce his last name. Capitone, I believe his last name is. But now he's the son of Havoc, and he was on there as well. The Lucha Underground is a mix of a cinema type feel Hollywood type feel of the show, but it has really good wrestling. I think there's a perfect mix of that. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, Nate, but I'll send you a link to check it out later tonight because you're going to enjoy it.
I heard good things about the show. I heard the main event was really good. There's some things going in that I wasn't a fan of. Like, I'm not a fan of the evil general manager. Like, I think
I love him.
It can be well done. And like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so, watching it may change my views. But going in, I was like, man, I don't need to see Mexican Vince McMahon. I got American Vince McMahon. I don't need Mexican Vince McMahon.
Well, no, he's definitely not a Mexican Vince McMahon because his favorite thing is violence, like he said. That's what he said. So you're going to see him. It's a really good show. And I think after you watch Lucha Underground, it's not going to be TNA Nate anymore. It's going to be Nate Lucha. How about that? Or Nate Libre. That's good. Twitter handle, Nate Libre. That sounds good to me. What about you, Felix?
I could be a Triple Nate.
That's good. That's good. Real good show. What do you think about it, Felix? You watched the show. What's your thoughts about Lucha Underground?
It's definitely given a different outlook on wrestling entertainment shows, giving it the old kind of lucha feel to it. You know what? It's the very first show, so it did catch my interest as far as the matches and so forth, and for it being the very first show and the hype behind it and so forth. I'm curious to see where it's going to go at this point. I know it's just starting out, and it has potential to go pretty far, but I'm curious to see how far they want to go.
And there's something that's been getting under my skin, kind of got me my interest, and along with Felix as well. I don't know if you've been knowing what's been going on, but Oscar and Mimi have something up their sleeve that they're not letting off to anybody, not even us, and they're actually going to be making it known to everybody this Thursday night on National's radio show, Pipebomb Radio Network, why they were at the WWE headquarters taking pictures of Triple H and all those guys and gals up there. I don't know what's up with them. What do you think?
Let's see. So they were at the WWE.
What it is that they had a meeting that they were going to a dinner, I guess, or some kind of convention for the Sports Legacy Institute that's run by Chris Nowinski, and they made a stop up in Connecticut to visit WWE headquarters. My first instinct to think, because I've been with them since they started on the show, is that they were going to go ahead and try to see about maybe seeking help for their new initiative they're trying to do to help the guys and girls that are going through any bouts of depression and need to talk or have it. That would be the first thing I think about, that they would probably try to reach out to them for. Now, I don't know that for a fact because he hasn't confirmed nor denied it, but I also know that Oscar and Mimi also met up with Ring of Honor representative or office guy. I don't know if he still wrestles from time to time, but also met with Prince Nana.
Okay.
From Ring of Honor. And that one, I know that there is a possibility, maybe somewhere down the line in the future, you might see Men on a Mission show up at an ROH show with Dreamy Mimi watching from ringside.
That would be cool.
So, yeah, they got to talking, and he said he would pay him a visit, and they did. I don't know what was discussed. I really don't know much about what's going on exactly. I know that they said they're going to mention some of it on Thursday. The only thing I can suggest is be there and hear it live.
And, I think I have a few questions for Oscar. I mean, don't you think me and Oscar rapping together, me and him, yo, spinning the ones and twos? I don't know. I think it'd be a really impressive thing because me and Oscar would be an ultimate tag team.
You mean you want to rap to the ring? Yikes.
Yeah, rap to the ring. Ching, ching.
Wow.
I don't know what to say about that.
What are you laughing about?
Austin, I love you, buddy, and
talent is unmistakable. I know Simon Cowell is probably hearing right now.
Let him make his point. Shut up. Let him make his point. Shut up.
You have artistic talent, but it's just not behind the microphone. You should leave that to Oscar and Mo.
Really? I see your true color.
Oscar, I'll tell you this much, Oscar even challenged John Cena to a battle rap.
Oh,
now, I think that would be interesting to listen to.
Yes. We should see that at WrestleMania.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I said, Vince, if you're listening, you need to make that happen, a battle rap at WrestleMania. Why not? I think it'd be fun. I have a very good feeling, in fact, that Oscar, Mo, and Mimi will be at WrestleMania. I don't know what capacity, but I have a feeling they will be there.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some great things, doing some big things. I'm very proud of them. They're definitely coming out of their shell and getting guests on there and building up their listening base, their listener base. Excuse me, if that sounds right. And we're happy that they're on board with us.
And speaking of guests, we have something up our sleeves, but we're not
revealing
entirely.
it.
I've never said a word yet. But I'm just saying.
All right.
We
Go
have
ahead.
something up our sleeves. We have something up our sleeves, but we're working out the details very thoroughly. I mean, if we're going to get this done, next week's going to be probably the biggest show of all time.
The Bella Twins next week?
I know.
I don't know about that.
I want to say curse words. Nate, don't. I told you not to mention that. Gosh.
Oh, I spoiled the secret. My bad. I spoiled it.
No, I'll tell you what. We're going to bring on Brother Love. I love you. I don't think so. But no, it is definitely a big surprise that I'm definitely working real hard to get set up, finalized, and that way we can start promoting it in the next couple days. As of right now, there's not going to be any revelation just yet because I want you guys to stay wondering for a little bit longer. You know, we've got the rest of the show booked for the entire month of November. A lot of great stars coming on, and this one will be, without a doubt, the biggest of 2014.
So always expect who's next. Who's going to be on Pipebomb Radio next?
That's a good question.
No hints given.
No, not at all. If you smell what I'm cooking.
And that's the bottom line.
There you go. With that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and bring it to a close. I definitely want to throw out, if you guys want to catch any of our past episodes of either our show, Pipebomb Radio, any past episodes of Not Your Mama's Radio Show, or even past episodes of Pro Wrestling Historical Society that we all have on our website, check out pipebombradio.net. And definitely it'll show you, it'll be up to date. It's up to date every couple days with new information as who is going to be on the shows and so forth. As far as Thursday's show, I don't want to reveal just yet who we have, only for the fact that we're not really sure if we're going to be either bring him on or somebody else. We will reveal more information for Thursday's show as we get closer. So stay wondering, folks. That's how we like it. We want you to wonder, so you tune in to find out just who the hell we'll have on the show next. And with that, Austin, any final words? Anything you want to promote? I'm sure you want to promote your Twitter, like you think you always got to, so fire away.
Well, if you do want to follow me, and who doesn't, the Austin James, _Austin James is my Twitter, my Instagram, at _Austin James. If you have no friends on Facebook, make sure you add me at Austin Porsche. And I'll be your friend, momentarily at least. Maybe we'll talk on Messenger, and I'll send some emoticons, like the kids say these days.
Emoticon? Like the kids. You act like you're so much older than everybody else, but you're just a youngin'. That's okay, though. What about you, Nate? What you got? Do you want to promote? You want to promote any shows you guys got coming up?
Absolutely. And real quick, Austin, at the Bella Twins befriends you on Twitter. Remember, you can look, but you can't touch.
I know. And I realize that.
You can check me out on the King of Sport podcast every week. It's myself and Marcus Vanderberg talking about sports, pop culture, and, of course, pro wrestling. And you can check us out on Twitter, KOS_POD, as well as Facebook.com/The King of Sport.
There you go. So until next time, we will tune in here next Tuesday night, and hopefully before then, we'll reveal to you who this special surprise will be. And the same will be said for Thursday night. So just tune in to find out who's going to be on. With that being said, on behalf of Nate, on behalf of Austin, this is Felix for Pipebomb Radio saying keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. And again, thanks to Luke Hawx for coming on as well. Have a good night, everybody.
Night, guys.
Good night, guys.
All right, guys.